This is a bit of a mess. This is a bit of a mess. This, oh my goodness, this is a lot of a mess. Oh my goodness. How has it got so bad? Messy, 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 messy. Messy, messy, messy. Messy, messy. Messy, messy. Outstanding job. Mess, mess, mess. Outstanding job. A little bit of today's mess. Yes, I think it's safe to say that all around the garden and all around the shed, it's all a bit of a mess. Greetings from the sweaty shed. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you're good. It's 30 degrees inside the shed today. It's not that hot outside, but yeah, it's warm, it's humid, so I have my glow on. But I've got my window open and I'm getting a little tiny bit of a breeze through it. Few, but hardly any. So, as I mentioned the other day, by the time you see this, it will have been the other day, when I was resowing fennel and brassicas, I was mentioning that I've got a bit of a big job to do. Yeah, sort the shed and sort the deck. Because there are two reasons. There are three reasons. There are a myriad reasons. Well, one, you know, I can't stand mess. Clutter everywhere. It's like having clutter in my head. I can't think straight. But honestly, in the last few gardening sessions I've had, I've really pushed it in terms of what my knees will do. I've pushed on and on and on, trying to get done as much as I possibly can. Then all the watering, which takes about an hour and a half to do a proper watering of the garden. So many plants in there, they all need a bit of water. So generally at the end of a session, I do a bit of a dump and run. Yeah, that works for a while, but then I've been, all the pots and trays that had gone home to be washed after I'd transplanted or potted those things into the garden, they've come back to their piled high. So look, it's a mess from getting to the end of the day and not having the energy to do it. And I really want to look after all of my kit, because the better I look after it, the longer it lasts. So I'm going to go through a bit of that today with you guys. The other thing is the deck. You know, since I took the Taunton Dean out, it's just not looked right this year. And part of that is because I haven't got any bunting out there. Because my old bunting was shredded. I mean, it's been out for years and years and years. I didn't put any new bunting up this year. I just kind of, I don't know, I think with the tennis not being on, I missed that kind of nudge to do it. Plus, I haven't had time to make any. I'm going to try and make some though for myself as well as the shop. So it's all looking a bit, and I want it to look nice. I want it to be nice and a nice place for me to sit, because actually with the herb bed, with the activity of the bees and the butterflies and the herb bed, yeah, make it a nice place for myself to sit. But also, I have a royal visit due soon. Oh my goodness, yes. So, I have the London's second queens in waiting, coming for a visit, coming for the day, for a very special day here. So yeah, what better excuse to have a jolly good tidy up, sort out and tartification of the place in general than a royal visit. And also it'll please me. And the other thing is, I was thinking about this the other day from a comment. I think Caroline left it. Hello, Caroline. And I was saying how I've got no stock for the shop because all the sales and auctions are still not happening. I was thinking about this with a few bits and bobs from the shed, that actually I don't really use them, don't really need them. So I'm going to take them home, give everything a jolly good clean, and they can go into my shop. So I think, without further ado, the best place to start is going to be on the shed stoop. I want to make some space so I can open the second shed door. Just see if I can get some air in here and some space for us all to hang out whilst we have a bit of a sort out and let's have a makeover. I've just done that thing that I think we probably all do. I've literally just stood here immobile for a few minutes thinking, where to start? That I'm going to tuck away because I need to use it when the fan will come up. Yeah, it's definitely one of those where to start. So, a few more empty trays and pots. This has been from brassicas that have either been planted out or been discarded because nothing happened. So, and then a mug that got used the other night that I didn't take home to wash. So all I do when I'm having these kind of sessions is I'm going to make a pile over there, that's stuff to go home, it's for washing. Just thinking about that. This really should be the last of the pots and trays, hopefully. Oh my goodness. Right, they're going to the deck. Table for now. That too. That can go to the deck. These are staying put, but let's put them somewhere safe for the minute. Table. Opla. Precious. That is over. Compost. Slug traps I haven't used. I'm going to tuck those in my bench seat. Pots that I haven't used. That's better. And now I can see what I'm doing. Now I can see all my mess in one go. Right, calm, crack into it. So, where I've been doing quite a bit of reseeding in the last month or so, my seeds are everywhere, they're a mess. I want to have a proper sort out, put them back into their big envelopes in their categories, etc, etc. I also want to just have a little bit of a stock take. So, rather than doing it now in the shed, I'm just going to try and ram them all into my box. Oh, a few more. And then the fennel, the gift fennel. Oh, and the brassicas. That can come home with me, and on a rainy evening I can go through it. There are a few things I want to reseed or do succession seeding of, for instance all my salads. I'm not going to be doing those today. I'm not going to be doing them in the next couple of days even, because we are really warm and dry at the moment. If I seed those beds now, I'm just going to have to be here every single day to water, and I know that that's not a possibility. So get this home, get it out of the way. I was about to put it on my bench, but I need to go into the bench in a minute. It'll do for now, on the bench. Good, seeds away. Oh, my lovely tea sign. This was from Vivian. You read it, where there's tea, there's hope. She did this with pyrography. Oh, look, it warped from being outside, but I want to find somewhere to hang that. That's another in a minute job. That is another tin. I do love my tins. That's a tin of, that's all my plastic labels that I reuse. I've got another pot here that's just for my little wooden labels. Obviously they rot. That's fine. This can stay for now. This is a bag of, it's all the lily pollen that I snip out because it's poisonous to cats. So that can go in the corner out of the way. Aspirin, because I've just done my tomato cares. That can go back with the first aid kit under here. Now, one of the big squashy messes at the moment, yeah, broad beans, I'll do those in a minute too. I keep saying I'm going to do it in a minute. The big squashy mess in here is from all these pots and trays that have come back from my home. They've been washed there. Now, they are a bit of a faff in so much as I don't have any storage for them at home, so they get stored here. I did purpose built-in storage for them. I'll show you properly when everything's put away and tidy again. So they get stored here. In the spring, in about February or March, they all come home with me, and I do all my indoor seed starts at home in them. Then they all come back here in May to begin to harden off. Then they all go back home again to be washed, and then they all come back here to be stored again. Now that seems like quite a bit of a palaver, but there's three things really. One, oh God, it is warm today. That lack of storage at home, they have to be here. The shed itself isn't that big, so I have to store them as tightly as possible. But in doing all of that, it just helps me take care of everything to make everything last for as long as possible. So many of these pots have been scavenged out of rubbish piles. When I'm doing the big wash, it gives me a chance to check over all the pots. Are some of them beyond use, etc. But then also, and I know this may seem a bit anal, but once they're all washed and cleaned, I can sort them into their sizes. That means I can stack and stow away more. I mean, there's dozens and dozens and dozens of pots stowed in here. It means, yeah, so I can stow more away like this, but also in the spring, when I'm getting into that really, really busy time, I know, I can grab a stack of 3-inch pots. Oh, I can grab a stack of 2-inch pots. Oh, there's a stack of 4-inch pots. It takes a little bit of, time to clean and put away and organise, but I always think it kind of saves time later on. So I'm going to get these all on the table so I can see exactly what I've got, get all my pots stacked neatly, then bring them back in and fit them into the shelves. That's the plan. Loads and loads, including, so these are my propagator lids. You see underneath the little vents? Even the propagator lids serve. They're almost like, I tell you what it's like on the shelves, they're almost like drawers to hold my pots. So they're coming out. There's a few more. And then I've got a few pots that have been lying around loose because I didn't have a tray to sit in. Oh, more pots, more clean pots, more clean pots. Right, this is going to take me a little while to sort through. So let me do that. You all go and have a cup of tea, and once it's done, I'll show you how it all fits into my fitted shelving system. Wow, that's immediately made a load more space. Tea towel in with the dining experience basket. This is why I love having the baskets, because again, I can just pull them out, chuck a load of stuff in, it keeps it all together. But within the baskets I can be a bit messy. And my saved jute from the other day in my string box. Right, harvesting trug. I need a jolly good sweep out as well. That gets hung You can't have too many hooks in a shed. That's my thing. All my notes are going flying. That's a note from ages ago. There's a bit of paper I can still use there. That's the antihistamine I was mentioning the other day, which has gone out of date. I did actually put it on all those ant bites. Didn't make any difference. Oh, the little bulbs. These are the little bulbs that I found. Do you remember when I was digging out the Nigella, the Love in a Mist, at the end of the cold frame to make space for the Taunton Dean? So these are the Leucodium aestivum bulbs. They need planting. Put them there for a second. Let me just show you how. I've got well over 200 pots, and I want to show you how I can squash them into actually what's really quite a small space. Right, well, that's the top 3 shelves. There's actually another shelf. Oh, it's going to be noisy and cranky. There's another shelf there, and then also this space right underneath. But this is what I mean about, wobbling you, packing things in. So all the trays are stacked. This shelf is going to be for trays with holes. This is going to be for trays without holes, again, so it's dead quick and easy to find them. And then each lot of trays has got an absolute mass of pots in them, all now in their size orders. So yeah, it's quite a bit of kit squished in. That shelf is slightly bowing, but all of this is made from skip find wood, so I can't complain. And then just to slightly around that side, this is all my baskets of kit, so all my secateurs, my first aid, cleaning, hygiene sort of stuff, my eating, nice things like that. This is going, that is not a loo roll, that's tulle, but this is now going to have my garlic in it. Just store quite happily there. And then below in the boxes I've got all my different sort of wire metal type peg things for holding nets down, and some bits and bobs of, you can't quite see, can you, tools, screwdrivers, screws, nails, all those kind of odds and ends that we all always need in our sheds, don't we? And then the final fitted section over there, it's a bit of a mess. There's a bigger space underneath, that's for my trug and what have you, and then a couple of more shelves above for bits like string and what have you. But now I'm going to tackle, so I bring you around really quickly, I'm going to tackle these shelves because it's, where are we, where's my finger? My fingers are still black from tomatoes. It's a lot of these pots which I'm going to get rid of and put into my shop. Yay, rattling through it, brilliant. Need to get the garlic out. It's on the drying rack, get that out, trimmed, do the broad beans, that'll be done. And then I can put the rack up away against the ceiling for the next few days while I've got visitors. And then obviously in a few weeks when I do the onion harvest, it'll come back down. So really just to sort out this corner. Now, like I was saying, I can't get to any auctions and sales for stock for the shop. So for example, these two are going to go, and they're going to go into the shop. I mean, I do love them. I'd love to keep them, but I'm a practical girl. And talking of practical, this is all going too. The fact is, I just don't drink a hot drink when I'm in the garden. Not even in winter, really. I drink water. I drink gallons and gallons and gallons of water. Speaking of which, because it is a really warm day, water is all I need. And I found, well, with the tea, I found basically I was doing like a free cafe service for people. I was spending a fortune on gas canisters for the cooker. And it's like, hang on a minute, why am I buying tea bags, sugar, milk, gas? I can't afford, much as it's lovely, I can't afford to do that. And then about 18 months ago, the little stove went on the blink. Not sure what's wrong with it, but I've got a friend who's keen to have it and have a go at fixing it. So brilliant. Maybe I'll put the little kettle in the shop too. I don't see why not. There's nothing wrong with it. So it's a nice little camping kettle. So yeah, that can go in the shop. And of course, if I'm not making tea for people, I don't need a tea caddy and a sugar caddy, do I? Good. So, and in actual fact, I'm going to keep this though, because it's handy to have some spoons and a fork when I bring my lunch and I realise I've forgotten to bring any cutlery. And obviously I'll keep my mugs here. They're all going to go home for a wash. I'll keep my mugs because sometimes we drink something that's not water. And that's the thing actually, although I don't serve all these free cups of tea anymore, we do socialise here quite a bit. It's been a bit different because of COVID, but for socialising we tend generally to socialise in the evening when we've done all the work, which is another reason I'm glad to not be serving tea, because when people are coming over for tea all day, you're like, I need to get all my things in the garden. I don't have all the time in the world. Go away. So it's nice if it's a beer or a glass of wine. Listen, it's not every night of the week, of course. It's not even every week. Maybe once a month. But it's nice when we've all done our work and we can truly relax then. There's no, we've done the work, we've done the watering, now we can relax. So there's a bit of space there for some more seed jars. All my seed jars in the top. I've got more jars at home, and what I will do is I'll go through these properly. I think I need to add a couple of jars, but I'll do all that when I've done my little seed tin sort out. Good, then I can give this all a sweep, and then, this is what I'm hoping. This winter, instead of taking all of my pelargoniums home, I've actually still got 4 really big ones at home, which I can take cuttings from next year if needs be. I'm thinking rather than taking all the pelargoniums home, I could maybe have them in here on the bench near the window, so they'll have light. And then even in the winter, I'm usually down about once a week or so I can water them if necessary. But it'll just keep them away from the frost a little bit. Yay! Right. Just thinking about what's next. Garlic, broad beans. Then I need to go and sort that deck out. Honestly, it is such a shambles. Oh. So yeah, get these packed up, get them home. Yeah, right. Come on, chop chop. That's my phrase of the day for today. Chop chop. That's better. A little bit of a tidy up. I need to bring the cuttings back to sit on the stoop, but I hope you'll agree that that's all looking, let's go in a little bit more. I'm taking weeds with me on the tripod, sorry. Yeah, that's all looking a bit more inviting, isn't it? Tidy, plenty of space for lounging, snoozing. This daybed is slightly over 6 foot long. Perfect. Lovely. Lots of nice clear space now, either for doing some potting or whatever takes my fancy. A little bit more space up there now for any extra pots for seeds. And now, let's have you all around here again. My face is going to be bright red. Hang on, let me put it to the light. How's that? Yeah. Now it's time to go and tackle the deck. What I've already done, I've just moved it out of the way. I'm just going to sit and tell you. The galvanised steel dustbin that sits on the end of the deck, it's full of wood ash. Now, I use that for bringing the acidity of the soil down. The more we use our soil, the more we grow crops, it starts to become more acidic. I only ever use a sprinkle, and that basically, that one big bin of wood ash is lasting ages, but I'm kind of sick of seeing it on the end of the deck. So for now I've moved it, oh my goodness, it was a huffy and puffy. I've moved it to the new Taunton Dean bed, which is at the end of the cold frame, because there's not going to be a Taunton Dean in there for a good few months yet. And now, yeah, it's given me a bit more space on the deck to go and dartify it a little bit. I was planning on tipping out that empty hugel culture today, the one that had the St John's wort in it, to put one of my blueberries in. Two things. One, I haven't been able to find any ericaceous compost on the high street. And two, it's been quite a long day already. And I don't think, I don't think my knees are going to enjoy me doing that kind of work. So, I am going to move it. First of all, clear that up a bit. This is that slug defence stuff I used on the fennel the other day. Well, it was my 2-day, yours the other day. I managed to drop a load of it here. So, swept up, I'll keep this for, yay, hopefully the fennel germinating. You might not be able to make it out from there, but can you just about see? I've got another little clump of verbena in here, right at the back. It's from Gary. So what I'm hoping is, I've got the verbena there, there's my little grape. Next to it, if the honeysuckle takes, get the honeysuckle to come up and along. Rhubarb in front. That will be it for this bed. But the verbena should be perfectly happy there. You know, they are tall. They will easily get right up to here. So it'll be just another nice little. Well, first it's a little spot of colour when they get going. But again, you know, it's such a lovely wildlife-friendly plant. Fab. Right, I need to move that from there to here. Oh, crikey. I need a proper sweep up. So I think what I'll do, I tell you what, I'm on that cusp right now of grinding to a halt. It's about 4 o'clock. I don't know where the day's gone. I've been here since 10. I haven't stopped for lunch or anything yet. I was going to, but didn't. So I think what I'll do is, I'll turn all of you off for a minute. I'm gonna lump, hump, grunt, puff, pant, see if I can make the deck a little bit nicer, for now at least. And then when I have done, bring you back to give you a look, show and tell. Then, I think I need to stop and have some lunch before I commit myself to the 1.5-hour task of watering, because the ground is so unbelievably dry. I've put fingers down, I've put trowel down. It's, yeah. That, all of that drizzle at the beginning of July, that's all it was drizzle and mist, and there's been no kind of real penetration of the soil. So yeah, I'm girding myself for a bit of a watering session. Oh, you can tell it's getting late in the day, because look where the shadow is already. Anyway, I think that this looks a little bit more welcoming now, doesn't it? So that's the other hugelkotch. That's the one I'm tipping out. It's got the blueberries just sat in it at the top at the moment. Obviously I've got my brassica massacre, you know, just see if any of these will survive long enough to be planted. Popped some of my geraniums out, which are also really straggly because, oh, they went in so late as well because compost arrived so late. But they're looking good and healthy. That one's about to burst. And then look at all the little bits of growth up the stem of this one. And of course my little pixie girl is sat there reading all my plants a lovely story. So, good. Oh, let me just show you a bit closer because you probably couldn't see it before. This is the verbena. So I've got a couple of little flowers to enjoy. But yeah, hopefully that little clump will get itself established. Rhubarb to come here. Honeysuckle to tuck in there, and hopefully this would look a little bit different next year. Normally I wouldn't have trays here at this stage in the year, but this hasn't been a normal year, has it? So anyway, it's nice to get my bits and bobs out and on the deck. That's the tray of brassicas and the tray of fennel, another sowing. That's the mint I need to find a home for. The other one I'm going to plant in the trough outside my shed. Yay! I'm officially done in. It's been another really, really long day. My knees are done in. I was just sitting here fondling this pebble. So smooth. I can't remember where I got it from. But just sitting for a few minutes of holding it and stroking it, I just feel myself calming again. Lovely. So, I'm almost done with my session today, apart from, it's going to be noisy, apart from watering. I can't remember if I mentioned this. Have I banged on and on about it? I don't know, but it does take about an hour and a half. So, I'm just going to quietly sit, trim all my garlic. It'll only take a few minutes, 15, 20 minutes or so. But that'll be a long enough bit of a sit down, bit of a reprieve to just get me ready before I start on the watering session. So, thank you once again for hanging out with me in the garden today. Well, we weren't really in the garden, were we? Mostly in the shed with all my mess. But, well, you know what, I don't know about you, but I hope you're similar to me in that you enjoy a really good tidying and sorting session. Yay! And I hope, sort of, if nothing else, just showing you how I store all my pots, how I've got my shelving in the shed. It is quite a tight space, but you can see how I managed to pack tons, noisy, tons and tons of stuff in there. I'll have a count up of all my pots one of these days. No, I won't, life's too short. I know that there are well over 200 pots in there because there were a couple of days. Do you remember right back at the beginning of June when I had a couple of sessions when I'd finally got all the beds ready and I had that kind of mammoth few days of planting everything that was in pots? All the squash, the cucumbers, the peppers, the climbing beans, some of the bush beans, the tomatoes, etc., etc. And on both those mammoth days, I think there was one day I'd planted about 200 plants, there was another day I'd done about 150, and I still had stuff in pots. So yeah, I know that I've got a lot of pots in my shed. And you know what? I think more than anything, I'm now in a state where I'm ready for my royal visit in a few days. Oh, hurrah for social bubbles, hurrah indeed. So I think for now, so I'm a bit head down while I'm trimming all my garlic. Literally all I'm doing is snipping off their roots and most of the stem. Yes, I think it's time for me to say cheerio to you all. Finish my garlic, do my watering, get home, run a bath, hang a bag of rosemary over the tap while the bath is running. I'm gonna need it tonight, I think. Wake up tomorrow and have a whole nother day of wonderfulness. Yay! So, I don't know when I'll see you again. It'll probably be right at the end of the month. So until then, oops, that one's just crumbled. Yeah, until then, please look after yourselves and each other and your plants and your birds and your bees and your butterflies and all the other gorgeous creatures that we share our green spaces with. Until the next time, bye for now.